Number 7 is the type of friend who's all they want to do is just chase guys or girls. That's all they talk about. That's all they want to do. We're not talking about marriage. That's halal, hada khair. This is good. But all they want to do is, hey, I was speaking to her and they say, oh, I smashed that. You know, the brothers who go to, you know what I mean, who are proud to commit zina and beyond. Oh, yeah, I hit that. Assalamu alaikum, guys. How you been? Good to see you. Today we're talking about top 10 types of friends to avoid. Why is this important? Friends are essential in life because we need people. We need each other. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم المرء على دين خليله. A person is on the deen of his friend. فلينظر أحدكم من يخالل. So take a deep close as the one who you consider as a friend. وقال الله تعالى الأخلاء يومئذ بعضهم لبعض عدو إلا المتقين. On يوم القيامة, the deepest and the closest of friends will be enemies to one another, right? Because they were friends of dunya. إلا المتقين, Allah says, except those who their friendship was based on taqwa, piety and righteousness, and the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's talk about the top 10 friends that we should avoid. Number 10 going down is the attention-seeking friend, the one who's always out to please the people, the one who has forgotten the pleasing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but rather their main goal when they wake up in the morning on a daily basis is to get attention and to do whatever it takes to dominate any space that they're in. So Deen, khair, shar, boundaries, doesn't matter to them. That type of friend is dangerous. You want to make sure you give them space and you don't bring them into your life. Number 9, the instigator, the friend who all they do is just fuel drama. They will take speech from this person to that person to just cause hatred and enmity between the people. And most of us know those type of people. You'll be surprised. I mean, I don't understand why you would keep that type of person in your life. This is that type of person who will قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يدخل الجنة, he does not enter Jannah, نمام, the one who is just causes namimah, instigates between the people. His main goal is, what is namimah? نقل كلام الناس على وجه الإفساد. It's like the intention to cause harm when you're transmitting speech from one person. قيل وقال, they said and he said. That type of person is poison. You want to give them space. Number 8, the masjid dropout. The masjid dropout. The masjid, وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ. This is the masajid, they belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you don't show up to the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the house of Allah, how are you protecting yourself? If you befriend somebody who has just, has left with the dunya, and they have they're disconnected from the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that person is at major risk and you don't want to be collateral damage. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, the famous hadith from the 7 types of people who will be under the shade of Allah, وَرَجُلٌ قَلْبُهُ مُعَلَّقٌ فِي الْمَسَاجِدِ. A person who their hearts hung from the ceilings of the masajid. It's a metaphor, but their hearts were deeply connected to the masajid. On Yawm al-Qiyamah, what's their reward? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give them a shade, a day when there's no shade except the shade of Allah. Right? This person is missing out on that reward. And you will too, if you befriend that type of a person. You always want to be connected to the masjid. Number 7 is the type of friend who's all they want to do is just chase guys or girls. That's all they talk about. That's all they want to do. We're not talking about marriage. That's halal, hada khair. This is good. But all they want to do is, hey, I was speaking to her and they say, oh, I smashed that. The brothers who go to, who are proud to commit zina and beyond. Oh, yeah, I hit that. All they want to do is talk about the opposite sex. All they want to do is قال الله تعالى ولا تقربوا الزنا, do not get near zina. All they want to do is get near zina. All they want to do is go to environments of zina and beyond. That type of friend, dangerous. They will derail you from the barakah of life, from success, from Jannah and beyond. You got to be focused. Okay, number 6 are the party goers and the bad environment goers. And all they want to do is just go to bad environments, go clubbing, go to shisha spots, they have been defeated by their desires. So all they want to do is fulfillment of shahwa, fulfillment of desires, right? You don't want to become collateral damage. Remember, friendships are contagious. Whatever your friend is upon, you will be upon. If you hang out with a bunch of friends that all they want to do is explore, turn it up, you know what I mean? What are all those? Just do it. This is my calling. All of these crazy, dangerous slogans of the day we live in. The friends who fell for that and all they want to do is fulfill their desires, you don't want them in your life. You do not, because it will have the nafs and the shaitan and the temptations of dunya are the three enemies of the mu'min, of the Muslim. These the last 2, 7, and 8, that's the direction they're heading. Okay? They've been defeated by their desires, and the shaitan has even defeated them, and the dunya and the temptations and the lust and the urges has gotten them. So if you bring those type of people in your life, imagine what that could do to you. How many good brothers and sisters have I seen just because pious, pure, highly innocent? Guess what happens? Hung with the wrong people, straight up gone. 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 You got to be careful. They lost their purity. They lost their innocence. They lost their innocence. They lost their morality. They lost their deen. Very dangerous. All because they chose the wrong people to bring into their life. Number 5. I want to go fast because I want to keep the video short for you guys. The one who lacks manners. Somebody who has bad adab and bad akhlaq and is reckless in the way they move. You do not want that type of person to be around you. A lot of barakah in life you could have gotten, they will derail that from you. Because of their bad manners and bad etiquette, no one in life will be able to tolerate you. No one. And you will take that with you for the rest of your life. وكذلك قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما بعثت لأتمم مكارم الأخلاق. I have been sent to complete the greatest of manners. The greatest of manners. Right? That's why we're supposed to look up to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة. In the Messenger of Allah Allah said, is a great example, and the Sahaba and the pious and the Salaf al-Salih. So when we bring people who are extremely bad mannered, it harms your deen, it harms your dunya. Okay, number 4, the immodest friend. The one, not have they been defeated internally, but also externally. They're not modest at all. وكذلك قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم الحياء شعبة من الإيمان. Shyness and modesty is a component of Iman. Once we remove shyness and modesty out of a person's character, they start to look very ugly. Right? They start to sell their soul and their body and their mind. Right? If you bring in that type of person into your life, soon you'll see yourself selling your soul. I always tell brothers and sisters, what you could not achieve in a modest way, you will never achieve it in an immodest way. That's just the reality of life. Okay? The seal, the protective layer of one's iman is modesty. Once the modesty is gone, it's over. Your iman will gone. I don't know if you guys understood that part, but okay. Okay. Number 3, the one who does drugs. The one who does drugs. If you befriend somebody who does drugs, قال النبي صلى الله عليه قال الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم, talking about drugs and alcohol and drug use, رجس من عمل الشيطان. Allah said it is evil from the deeds of the shayateen. فاجتنبوه, stay away from it. You said, oh no, Allah, actually I'm gonna befriend people who do drugs. I'm gonna hang out with them. I'm gonna give them the most sensitive, intimate times of my life. What's gonna happen to you, ya ikhwan? What's the return of investment there? You can only imagine. Dangerous. Don't put yourself in that type of situation. I once knew a sister who, one day she came with her friend to a store, and the friend left, and she was at the cashier. The friend was in the back or something at the cashier. So the cashier guy knows both. And he's like, hey, I didn't know you were into, you know what I mean, so and so. And she's like, what are you talking about? Your friend over there, yeah. You know what I mean? She's doing drugs, or the clubs, doing all these reckless things that he mentioned. I can't recall. She was like, really? I didn't know that. That day she said, I went home with her. She dropped me off at my house. The minute she dropped me off, I deleted her number. She's the one who's telling me this. Deleted her number. I don't ever want to be seen with that type of a person, and I don't ever want to have that type of person in my life. That's how you got to be intelligent to protect and to preserve your dignity and your honor and your deen. Life is short. Number 2, the non-Muslim friend. The non-Muslim friend, Allah Ta'ala lakum deenukum waliya deen. They have their own way of life, and you have your own way of life. By bringing in their way of life into your way of life, you know what happens? Your way of life, you start to get confused. You start to admire the things that they do. You start to become out of place. Your life becomes out of order. You set different expectations. All of a sudden, your desires go out of the blue because your friend has a lot of impact on your life. When you start to compare yourself to your friend, it causes a lot of harm, a lot of danger. So what you have to do is, if you're ever going to have a non-Muslim friend, make sure it's situational, like at the basketball court, like in the classroom, like it's not into your life directly, right? This will have a major, major, major damage. And this is such a big topic. I'll talk about it more some other time. But if you're going to have a non-Muslim friend, you got to be very intelligent and how you keep this relationship calculated. Okay. And number one, I want to keep the video short, is the friend that doesn't pray. The greatest connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is as-salah. Qala Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was asked, oh, what is the greatest, the most beloved deed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He replied by saying, the greatest deed that Allah loves the most is as-salatu ala waqtiha. Salah prayed upon its time. And this is a friend that has neglected the salah. And unfortunately, the youth today, they're struggling with salah. If you have a group of friends who don't pray, the greatest advice I can give you is find new friends that do pray, that go to the masjid, that fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just by doing that, you have positioned yourself for success. People who don't pray, some of the ulama, they debate, it is one who doesn't pray leaves the fold of Islam. That debate is there. So if you want to bring people that are at the borderline of Islam into your life, whether they have left the salah out of desire or on purpose or laziness, whatever it might be, you don't want to have these type of people in your life. Wallah, they will get you in a position, they will position you for failure. And I told you, friendships are contagious. If your friend group are not praying, eventually you will not end up praying. If you're already not praying and you want to start praying, become friends with people who are praying. Good friends who are always at the masjid, who are in the khairat, who are doing good things in life. By doing that, you have just positioned yourself for success. And that's the goal of the Muslim. The goal of the Muslim is to make sure you succeed in dunya so that you succeed in al-akhirah, and that Allah gives you barakah in dunya and barakah in the hereafter. How are you going to find the success in this barakah if you are neglecting the most basic duty of a mu'min, of the Muslim, which is as-salah? And why? How did you lose your salah and your deen and your iman? You decided to become friends with a bunch of people who don't pray. And by that, you have lost many things. And by that, you are at risk for many things. These are the top 10 types of friends to avoid as a Muslim. You want to make sure that you follow the advice of the Prophet ﷺ, Al-mar'u ala dini khalili. A person is on the deen of his friend, of her friend. يَنْظُرْ أَحَدُكُمْ مَنْ يُخَالِلُ. So beware of the one who you consider as a friend. Till next time, sallallahu sallam ala nabina wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.